What's going on, y'all? It's Anthony. I haven't exactly come up with a YouTube name or anything like that, so I don't have an intro for you. But for a first video, what I'm gonna do this page on is finances, current events every now and then, self-improvement, things that resonate with me. And I wanted to talk to you guys today about the job market in 2025. The job market in 2025 is crazy. And it was like this last year, I want to say, or maybe 2 years ago. But I did a little fact checking, and basically it said that it has been the worst this year since it has been during the pandemic, I want to say. I'll put the exact information below when I get a chance so that I can give you guys correct information. But man, do I got some stories for y'all. So I've applied to maybe 400 or 500 jobs in the past 4 months, I'd say. I've not been picky. I've applied to obviously things in my profession. I'm professionally trained in IT, but I've not been picky. I've applied to Valvoline, Subway, McDonald's, freaking retail places like CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, Target, and everything from IT to being a freaking bathroom cleaner at gas stations. I have not been picky at all. But I got some stories, man, because it's just wild. It's just wild out here, man. And I'm seeing a lot of people on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube kind of saying the same thing. So I've applied to, I said, 400 or 500 jobs. Two of these jobs, right, on two occasions. And y'all know how the interview process goes. You got to find something, then you got to apply, then you have to be accepted for an interview, so on and so forth. So I did all of that, applied, got all my information in, finally got an email or some sort of text or whatever saying that, hey, we want to call you in for an interview. I'm like, yes, finally. But it doesn't happen immediately. I have to wait a couple weeks and whatnot. So I wait a couple weeks, positive. You say, as long as you're positive and as long as you're putting in the work, you'll get the results. And I'll talk about that later. But anyways, so I waited, got myself prepared, got myself something nice to wear for the interview. And 15 minutes before the interview starts, I'm there. I'm early, on time, positive, all the things. And the scheduled interview time comes, finally gets there, and no one shows up. I'm like, well, maybe I have the wrong link or whatever. So I can multitask on my phone. So I leave the Zoom window open and I check the emails, make sure that I click the right one. And I did. So I waited. I contacted them via email while I'm still waiting, letting them know, hey, I had an interview today. No one's here. Of course, no one responds. I waited 45 minutes. No one showed up. No one responded. No one apologized. No one said, hey, sorry, we know you had an interview today. Would you like to reschedule? Nothing. Something like that happened to me twice, right? And it's frustrating because on these sites, Indeed and ZipRecruiter, they'll say stuff like urgently hiring. So if you see something that says urgently hiring, you're under the assumption that, hey, they need people immediately. These people are serious. Nope, it's not the case. So I've done that, and then I've did the good old-fashioned footwork, foot traffic, walking around, because I lived in a community where everything was close-knit, where you could walk everywhere, and there were tons of jobs, shops, retail stores, grocery stores in the area. And I'm talking about I did this faithfully and consistently every day. A lot of these jobs, they would have like signs on the door that say, oh, come on in, come on inside, we're hiring, apply inside. They got the little fancy signs and stuff that pep you up. These people are hiring, I'm about to get in today. Go inside, hey, are you hiring? This is the response I get. And I'm like pointing to the sign, and then they peer over, they didn't see the sign. Y'all have to come through this door every day of the week, or however many days of the week that you work. How is it that you don't see a sign right there in the front door that say, come on in, apply, we're hiring? I don't, like, you're shocked? You're shocked that I'm in here asking you to apply for a job because there's a sign on your front door that says, "Come on in, we're hiring." And you're looking at me confused. Anyways, I'm not the disrespectful type. I did get frustrated sometimes because to me, I don't know, false advertisement, or you're just being lazy and not taking the sign down. So that happened to me so many times, y'all. So you have people not showing up for interviews who scheduled and approved for you to be at an interview. Then you have stores that are basically saying on the outside they're hiring, but when you go inside, they're not hiring. So it's like, what the heck is going on here? Then I had an interview at Chipotle. This is the first interview. I showed up at Chipotle, again, dressed up, everything on time, whatever. I get there, and no disrespect to anyone, but I speak English. I'm not versed in any other language. I know some German, but I'm not versed in any other languages. This particular gentleman spoke Spanish. He couldn't even conduct an interview with me. He couldn't ask me my schedule. He couldn't ask me basic questions like, "Hey, can you get here on time? Can you commute here reliably?" Basic questions. He asked me, he said, "Hombre," I guess that means name. I don't know. And then he asked me for my phone number, and that was it. But I'm like, my head, you already have this information on my application. Why are you asking me this again? It was not an interview. It was me rewriting down information that they already had on file. And no one else there, because it's based off hiring managers, no one else there could help me because no one else spoke. Either no one else spoke English or no one else was qualified to be conducting interviews, which I think it had more to do with the latter than the former. So there's that. Then I had another thing that I thought I had a way in. I knew an owner of gas stations. Guy's driving a freaking AMG G-Wagon. I knew him. I would walk in there and he would just be like, "Oh, get yourself a drink or a snack or whatever." And it's on me, whatever. Great dude. I told him I was looking for work. I said I'd even sweep, I'd clean bathrooms here. This is at a gas station. When I would do these things, he said, "Let me call the big boss." Owned above him because he owned this gas station. But there was another guy above him who owned all of them in the area. Bet I'm definitely about to get something now. He calls him and he lets him know, "Hey, I got this guy here, good guy. He's trying to get some work. Can you get him in somewhere?" He was like, "Yeah, tell him to send me a text." So he gets off the phone, gives me his phone number immediately. Send him a text. No response. Nothing. And of course, it could be different things. He could have been busy. He could have forgot. I don't know. But I'm trying to show you a pattern here in terms of the job market itself. It's putting itself out there. They need people. They are hiring, and they're not really hiring. Then I had another interview scheduled with Chipotle, and literally less than maybe 12 hours before my interview, I got an email from because they use AI to schedule their interviews now on Chipotle. It's called Avocado. AI's name is called Avocado. So I get a message from this Avocado thing saying, "Oh, due to unforeseen circumstances, we are unable to do your interview scheduled for tomorrow." And I'm on Reddit trying to figure out, like, what is that? Of course, nobody knows, but some people are saying it usually means that someone either got hired before you or the hiring manager wasn't going to be available. And they didn't give me the option to reschedule. Nothing. Nothing. Wanted to know, 90% no at that point. That's just my experience these past few months. So, what else? So here's this. I finally got somewhere. I'm on ZipRecruiter, right? And the job is basically advertised as some kind of a tech consultant, which is right down my alley. Oh, tech? Oh, this is what I need. Urgently hiring. Said the same thing again. Urgently hiring. Maybe all the other things didn't work because this is where I was supposed to be. You know what we tell ourselves sometimes. All the shut doors means that you're just waiting on the one that God has open for you. That whole spiel. So I apply. I finally get set up for an interview. This is crazy. Finally get set up for an interview. A few days afterwards, right? Dressed up again, professional, on time. And they're doing these interviews and they don't have their Zoom where you can blur the background and everything. It wasn't blurred. But I'm looking at the background and it doesn't look like a place that would be doing legitimate interviews for tech. It was just like a plain white room. I'm very into details and look at details. Whether that was asinine or not, I don't really know. I'm just looking like tech, plain white room. It just doesn't look professional to me. Something is a little off, but I didn't want to just assume. So I went ahead, completed the interview. A few days later, they call me back and they say, hey, we want to move you to stage 2. So I do stage 2, completed stage 2 of the interview. 2 days later, they hit me back up and they say, oh, we want to bring you in, start training on so-and-so date. I'm like, that sounds good. So I'm waiting. I'm excited because for anyone, we know what it's like to not have any money in our pocket. So I'm like, I had red flag, but let me just put some money in my pocket. You start to get to that point where if I was willing to clean toilets at a gas station, I didn't really care at that point. I just wanted to make some money. Anyways, show up. Everyone's got these suits and freaking watches and dressed the part. This is all right. We start training, and I'm waiting for the tech part to come up because that's what it was advertised as in the description. 1 day went by, nothing. 2 days went by, nothing. Maybe the tech part is post, because up until that point, the only thing that we were talking about was sales. Maybe it's sales and tech. So I just went along with it. Again, I need money. Just shut up and do your training, and you'll get to that part when you get to that part. That's exactly what I did. 4 or 5 goes, day 4 or 5 comes and go. Still no tech part. It's all sales. Now, mind you, this is the crazy thing. They brought in that room that we were training in, me and 4 or 5 other people. They brought a check in there. Sorry, a train's going by. They brought a check in there. They have like those giant checks where you can write people's names and how much money they made, blah. So they brought a check in there. One said $3,000, and this was for a week. Now, you know, being in the position that I was in, I was like, oh man, this might be really good. And then there was another one. Someone made like bonus of it. It was over like 3-month period, but they made $100,000 3 months. I'm like, oh my gosh, if I made $100,000 3 months, I'm out. Because I can manage some money. You give me $100,000, I can manage that for a long time. But anyways, the whole time we're doing training, right? They're using these whiteboards and these markers, 5 or 6 of them on the thing. Every single one of those markers that they were using was dried up. That was my 3rd red flag. So you have the white room, then you have there's no mention of actual tech things here. And then you have these checks where people are making thousands of dollars, $100,000 in a short window of time, but you can't afford to get markers that work. And new people, none of them, they were all dry. Like and they were writing stuff on the board. I had to literally take pictures on my phone and zoom in to see what it is as far as notes were going, because I like to take notes. I'm like, hold on now. Something's not right. 3rd red flag. But I'm still optimistic. I'm still relentless. I'm gonna keep doing this thing, because a couple grand a week, man, that's all right with me. I'm sure that would be all right with anyone. But basically, there was a point that came that my wife, and I won't go into the details, but she had to have surgery. She basically couldn't take care of herself for a few days, right? And I made mention of this to them first day of the interview, right? So they knew ahead of time. So that day they were supposed to go to the field or whatever, but they already knew that I had to take care of my wife. So I went home, I went to the hospital, took care of my wife, whatever, for a few days to make sure she was all right. But before I left that day, the guy told me that he would send me my check for training and that he would send me a schedule for basically going out into the field to get more hands-on training. So Monday came, and we're moving at this point. There's a lot of moving pieces. I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to take care of my wife, and we're moving. And I'm dealing with mental health stuff too. But life is good. In the process of moving, I reach out to the guy in terms of the schedule and in terms of getting paid. They said they pay you every Friday. First text, I got no response back from in terms of the check or the schedule. So I waited a few days because I like to give people time to, maybe they're dealing with something. So I waited 2 days, And that Friday, as we were moving, I sent another text because it was 9:30 or whatever in the morning, and my direct deposit from training didn't hit again. This is the second week. So I sent another message to him. Y'all won't believe this. This person has an Android. I also have an Android, both Galaxies. And I sent him a text message, and I get a little sub prompt at the bottom of the text message that I sent, basically saying, this person has blocked you. So when I tell you the job market is some crap right now, it is, I don't know what's going on. Considering everything that's been happening recently, I don't know, I don't understand. So that's why I'm starting this whole journey, this whole channel. It's because I realize that there are a lot of people going through similar things, and I'm on a journey now because I've been dealing with this for several months, where I'm trying to learn, to teach myself ways to show up, be honest about life, and to learn and to teach myself and hopefully pass on information to you guys on how we can get out here and we can make money by ourselves without needing to rely on someone to tell us yes or no. Because in these times, I don't mean to sound negative or morbid, but no one cares whether you have a job or not anymore. I'm not saying that about everyone, but I'm saying in terms of the job market itself, because again, everyone says they're hiring, but no one is actually hiring. And I asked some people why that is, and from my understanding is when you post a job online that you're hiring, it's more about you trying to meet a number of interview quotas or whatever instead of actually bringing people on board, because they won't have enough money or whatever to actually pay you. I'm saying I heard that from someone. I'm not saying that that's fact, but I heard that it's more about numbers and quotas and not necessarily bringing people on board to the company. So that's what I've been dealing with. I'm sure a lot of you guys have been dealing with this too. If you guys have, I'd love to hear your stories and maybe we can talk about it. But if you've been dealing with this too, just tell me about it in the comments, and I would love to hear you guys' stories. Not from a place of looking down or anything like that, but just authenticity and connecting with people who are dealing with similar issues, because I feel like there's a lot of us dealing with this right now, but we are out here trying. So like I said, job market sucks, but I hope that by me creating this channel, it might be able to open up a door for growth for myself, but mainly for other people. Because one thing people know about me, it's I care about helping other people more than I care about helping myself. So I hope that on this journey we all can learn something, and that we all can grow. We all can learn how to put money in our pockets without needing someone to tell us, hey, you're good to go, you're not good to go. No, I'm going to put some money in my pocket whether you tell me I can or not. And that's the kind of mindset that I'm in now, because you can't really rely on the job market. And even the security in the job market is gone. I've known people who've had 20-year tenure in a company and they let them go recently. So being loyal to a company doesn't mean that the company is going to be loyal to you. You can't rely on that stuff anymore. And lastly, there's this thing that I'm learning about life. You have what are called truths, and you have things that are called useful myths. One of the useful myths that we've been taught in America is that you get in what you put out. And I'm here to tell you that the reason why a lot of us are frustrated is because we've been conditioned to believe that if you put in the effort, you will see results. That's not always the case. So that's what we call a useful myth. So I'm telling you guys this so that when you go out here and you bust your butt and you get frustrated, which is okay, that's natural, but remember that it's coming from the idea that what you get in is what you get out, and that's not necessarily something you can count on. The only thing you can count on in life is God, His Son, Jesus Christ, and at some point, death. I'm trying to be morbid. I'm just saying that those are things that you can't expect. That being said, just keep going. We're gonna work this out. We're gonna figure this out together. I know this was a long video, but I just wanted to storytell and explain to you guys what I've been dealing with and what I've seen a lot of people dealing with. But I don't officially have a name for the channel yet, but my name is Anthony. I'm glad that you guys took time to watch this video. I know it was long, but hope you guys have a good rest of your day, good rest of your week, and just be encouraged as best as you can. I know it's not as easy as it sounds, but appreciate you guys, and I will catch you guys next time when I have some more things to share. I just wanted to show you guys this lake before I get off of here. So I'll catch y'all next time. See you.